Hello and welcome back to another episode of Thingz Talks here on DnD and Things. I realize it's been almost a month or more since we've done a Thingz Talks. We were on vacation. We've been getting ready for the little one to come home. We're trying out a new little streaming thing, so we apologize that Jen's face is going to get attacked by a hand every once in a while.
That's fine.
But we are getting into spooky season because it's her favorite time of year. We'll talk more about that towards the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Today being the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and we are in our 30s. We thought that today would be a good day to remember that. Take a moment to remember those who had fallen in that horrific day.
Yeah.
Share our memories of that day, and talk a little bit about it. For us, we live in an area that hit fairly close to home.
Very close.
The Flight 93 that came down in Pennsylvania is only about 30 minutes from us.
Yeah.
And I grew up at a camp that is literally not a couple miles from where the plane came down. There's a church camp that I grew up learning how to horseback ride. And then I've gone back and volunteered for there and got to kind of horseback ride along the edge of the Flight 93 Memorial grounds. So it's a hop, skip, and a jump for us to where that came down.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start since I'm already talking.
Okay.
So
Well, not to interrupt, but real quick, like I said, we are going to talk about where we were on that day, and we know that this is a very hard topic for some people. So please, we are not going to be offended if you cannot watch this stream, but we just thought it would be important to share, what that day had, what kind of impact that had on our lives. And we were just talking the other night about how it seems like every generation has a moment in history that they're all impacted by. And I think, this was the big one for us. I mean, we now have a second one, which, would be the year of good old 2020. So.
Y2K just happened 20 years later.
Oh, God. Stop. Stop. I remember that whole fiasco, too. So, but yeah. Anyways, so I just wanted to preface this that, it could be a very difficult topic for some people to hear, and we are not here to glorify it or poke fun or anything like that. These are just kind of how it affected us. And we also know that this might be something that people are still trying to process due to losing family and friends. And so
we're avid supporters and have lots of family who are first responders.
Yeah.
EMSs, firefighters, police officers in our families. So we know that a lot of them, especially in New York,
Mm-hmm.
you had a lot of people called forth from those services to help with emergency kind of situations. So we thank everyone involved in that day to be supports, and we're thankful that despite how horrific it is, that it wasn't larger.
Yes.
Because it could have been.
Yeah.
So I remember 20 years ago, that would have put me at 12.
Yeah.
I was in middle school. I was in a middle school art class when we were kind of told to stop everything we were doing, put on the TVs when the first plane hits. So I know lots of kids, their parents were coming and getting them from school. I know my brother and I were just staying in place, but that day in school, we did nothing. We did absolutely nothing. The rest of the day, the TVs were on. I think almost everyone's eyes in the country were glued. I've never been to New York myself. I've been to Washington, but I was young when I was to Washington. But when the news that a plane came down in Scranton, not Scranton,
Somerset.
Stoystown, PA,
Yeah.
Somerset, PA. We live in Johnstown, PA. My family's lived in Johnstown, PA. Like my grandparents. Somerset is 30 minutes south of us. Like, now the plane came down in a perfect spot. Like, Somerset, PA is fields galore, mountainous fields and farming, lots of trees and farming and whatnot. But when I was getting more news of where it came down, my bigger concern was a camp that I grew up going to because it's right there. Now the camp did get taken over by firefighters, rescuers, everything, because it was a good place for them to kind of take shifts, get rest, have a place for base camp to go and do a rescue mission. But I know like that week was like we didn't really do much in school. Everyone was just kind of like there's this worry that something was going to happen, and like where I was at, I was close to Pittsburgh, which is another large kind of staple of the U.S. It's not as big as New York or whatnot, but Pittsburgh's one of our oldest cities and has a huge steel industry, and there's still a lot of people who are coming this way. If you're coming to Pittsburgh, the places you're going are Pittsburgh or to Pennsylvania. You're going to Philadelphia or Pittsburgh.
Or Hershey.
Or Hershey.
Yeah.
So, like, there was a fear that, like, something was going to happen at the airport in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Just being so close to Pittsburgh, it's like, what could happen?
Yeah.
So, it didn't really affect anyone in my family. There's no one who we knew that was affected, but at the time I was a very church-going person, so I know that we had memorial services and prayer services, and it's just being on edge. There was never that. It made you wonder how people who were coming out of the Great Depression and were experiencing and hearing the news of Pearl Harbor would have felt.
I know for me, I was 16. I was a sophomore in high school, and I was in my psychology class. And at that point, I hadn't heard about anything yet. And my teacher came in and he's like, look, there's something going on in the world right now. There's a bit of a scare. So we have two options. We have, a TV in the room, and we can turn the TV on and watch the news broadcast, or we can do our meditation day. Now, in psychology, in my psych class, every Friday was our meditation day, where we just kind of shut all the lights off and we, just got somewhere comfortable, whether you were laying on the floor or, sitting on the floor, curled up in your chair, like whatever. And we just kind of did like a guided meditation. And he said, what we can do is just, kind of have a quiet guided meditation and just, keep our thoughts on anybody that might be going through something hard today. And, we're a bunch of teenagers, and we're like, at that point you have the attitude of, oh, screw watching the news. Like, let's just have our guided meditation day. That's what everybody voted for. So we all just kind of relaxed and hung out. And again, at this point, I still didn't even know what was going on. And the next class I headed to was my English class. And over the intercom in the classroom, I got called down to the office. And I was really confused. And there was, I had my bag and everything, and I'm walking down to the office and stuff. And I get down there and I'm like, yeah, what's up? And they're like, your dad's here to pick you up. And I'm like, what? Like, why is my dad picking me up from school? And when I got out to the car, my sister was already in it. She would have been, still in elementary school at that point. And but yeah, I get in the car and he's like, "Hey, we're going to go and get your brother." And I'm like, "What is going on? Like, why are you picking me up from school? Like, did something happen? Like, what's going on?" And he goes, um, "Planes have been hijacked over the United States." And they, at that point, I believe the one had already hit the Pentagon and one had already gone into the Trade Center. Um, and he said there's a couple planes that are still unaccounted for, and if we're going to die, we're going to die together. And hearing my dad say that and seeing the fear on his face, I will never forget that. Because that just wasn't my dad. He was always the big tough guy. He never cried, never really showed fear. But to see him like, "I'm getting my kids and we're going home," and I was very shocked. Anyways, we got my brother, and just as we got home, my mom had been home and she had it up on the TV. And just as we walked in the door was when the second plane hit. And then shortly thereafter when the towers fell. And like seeing that happen live was insane. Like I remember the house just being silent. You know what I mean? What do you say?
Yeah, school, no one was really talking.
It was unbelievable. And then hearing about the one that went down, very close to home. Now, I was living in Hollidaysburg at the time. And so it was probably a little over an hour. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you, Haas, for the follow.
But yeah, we were a little over an hour from where that plane went down, and that's way too close to home, And what I remember most is, obviously that was horrible, but then going back to school the next day, everybody was just different. You know what I mean? It was a very quiet day. Nobody was pulling any kind of shenanigans. Nobody was, it was just a very somber day at school. And I remember in gym class, my gym teacher took us outside and she's like, "We're not going to do anything. You guys don't even have to change. Just let's go outside." And so we go outside and she's like, "I want everybody to lay down in the grass." And we all lay down and we're looking up at the sky. And she goes, "We're just going to hang out here and we're just going to look at the sky and we're going to be happy that we're all here today, but also take note because this will be the only day in history that you'll never see a plane or a plane streak in the sky." And I remember just seeing the bluest sky. It was so weird because there wasn't even a cloud that day. You just look up and you don't think about things like that. So now, that will forever be etched in my brain, of literally laying down because every plane was, stopped at that point. There were no planes over the United States. And so to see
plane traffic in the U.S. was down for almost
completely ceased
a week.
Yeah. And it was just one of those things.
Sorry about the bounce. We have a cat who
likes
can't
to join us.
Stay still.
Yeah, but looking up in the sky that day and just seeing literally a plain crystal blue sky was just unreal. So I mean, that's kind of my experience that day. I mean, that was hard, and then hearing about the survival, what would they call it? The survivor extractions, and and then hearing, about how still then afterwards, the casualties that were happening in New York to try and get people out, and just it was just a crazy day in history, and it's forever changed our lives. It was a memorable day.
And I know this year I saw that there's some volunteers who went to Flight 93 Memorial and were doing paintings. Mm-hmm. Families had given photos. They're doing paintings to commemorate each of the individuals lost in Flight 93.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it's just, to think that was only 20 years ago, and a lot of, the younger people that, who either weren't born yet or, were too small to understand what was going on, some of them potentially are people that are against us being, overseas. And don't get me wrong, I'm not thrilled about it, and I'm glad that we were making efforts to finally come back. But at that time, it was our World War II. You know what I mean? We were avoiding, getting involved with things going on overseas.
Well, we had already been involved in the Gulf Wars and Vietnam and Korea, and
we were trying to start taking our the back seat, and then for something like that to happen, it's okay, now we have to act like they, and it brought everybody together for a minute. You know what I mean? I wish it had lasted longer, but eventually we had to go back to normal. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think people forget, just the size and the scale of that event. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like 2020. I mean, literally the whole world came together for a second.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, we were watching the Salt Lake City Olympics opening, where they commemorated and remembered that, and had brought the flag for the national anthem from New York for that. Yeah, that was crazy. So. Yeah, if you want to share where you were, please do so in our comments. But if you don't, that's fine too. We just wanted to take the moment to remember ourselves.
And take that moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To really, you can't plan for things like this, you know what I mean? You have to live your life to the fullest, because you never know. Like, you just never know.
Yep. I think it had a lot more impact on the East Coast too.
Yeah.
Because again, like, we in Pennsylvania, nothing really happens here most of the time.
Right.
Especially in central Pennsylvania. But like, not that anyone from that flight was related to any of us, but it came down right here.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
So I do encourage any of you, if you're out this way, to go visit the Flight 93 Memorial. They've done a lot of good things to help commemorate that and to honor those who sacrificed themselves for that.
Yeah.
And I know the towers have done the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's gonna do for our little remembrance here. Those of you who've joined us before know that when we do our Thingz Talks, Jen and I have a habit of doing our highs and lows, which we've been so busy we haven't even been doing off camera.
No, things have been crazy.
We're closely approaching the little one in Pittsburgh being able to come home.
Yeah.
So our setups are going to look different. We are staying here for the moment. We are still looking for a place that will better accommodate the two of us and three little girls.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. But we do our highs and lows. We talk about our high moments from the week, our low moments from the week. I would say that we can, if you want to do a little more of that to extend for like the last month, a couple highs, couple lows from over the last month since we are behind.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Do you want to start or you want me to start?
I can start.
Okay.
So my first low right off the bat is my daughter is is positive for SARS-19 right now. So
well, it's SARS-19.
It is technically the technical term is.
Oh, okay.
Is actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carolyn 19.
Yeah. You all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm very worried about her right now.
Yeah.
So I've also had to start transitioning to working in the field. For those of you who have followed us pretty religiously, we actually started doing this right after I got out of the hospital at the end of this month last year.
Yeah.
This time last year I was feeling really sick. It all kind of kicked off with meeting my dad for the first time.
Yeah.
That was a huge stressor. I'm very glad to have met him. We're planning another flight down for him that we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
But the stress of that and the stress of everything I had already been a little sick off and on. It just kind of progressed that to the point where, like, I think 2 weeks later, you're like, babe, like, I had got better for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then sick again.
Yeah.
Like, I was sick for a week, and we were just like, okay, maybe I'm just having, like, withdrawal symptoms. I'm overly stressed.
Yeah.
And, of course, we were worried about it being something else because it was right in the middle of 2020.
Yeah.
I was not that. But we found out I had pericardial effusion. So part of that's because of having a high blood pressure, drinking a lot of energy drinks, and all that fun stuff. So where was I going with that?
You were talking about Princess.
Oh, yeah. So she's yeah. We're worried about her. I was thinking about another low. Oh, well, I was working at the time. I've been working, and I have to go into the field now. Mm-hmm. I still lack energy levels from where I was last year. Yeah. So being in the field, being in the car a lot, I have to travel up to an hour for work for some of my clients. That's been very difficult and kind of a low because, like, it sucks kind of going through your whole workday, coming home and having absolutely no energy.
Yeah.
And I want to try to make content for you guys. So it's kind of been difficult there. I think those are my only lows. I don't have a third low. I wish I did, but I don't really because it's been a pretty good month. Mm-hmm. High-wise, though, we had a wonderful vacation with our little girls. Mm-hmm. We got to go out to Philly, and we had a blast with them.
Yeah.
We had our ups and downs there, but
they're also 3 and 6.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that was wonderful. In the last month, I've also gotten to finally meet the little one in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Which was really nice to finally do.
Yeah.
And high of this week is I've gotten to spend a lot of time with you. We've made a lot of plans for this channel. And for all of our social medias moving forward. Yeah. We have a lot of plans for the next year, which is a lot of that's kind of in the back end of stuff. Yeah. Finally making the streaming channel our own business. Yeah. So whatever you guys can do to help support us is greatly appreciated for that. We've been getting a lot of love, and we put out our second Humble Bundle review. Mm-hmm. Or blind reaction earlier this week, and it's gotten 160. The last we checked, 160 views.
Yeah,
and like
which
less
is a
than
lot
a week,
for us.
Which is a lot for us. Like when we're only at 300 subscribers, we've only been doing this for a year. Yeah. We love and appreciate all of the support you guys give us.
Yeah,
and that helps keep us on a high. That helps keep us knowing that we're doing something good. Mm-hmm. We enjoy doing this stuff, but it's not. We could sit here and do this all day. and be fine, but we have to make sure we're able to live too. So, goal is to hopefully be able to do more of this for you.
Yep.
Get to a point where we can actually do a Thingz Talk every week because we can kind of make this our job.
Yeah.
So,
you good then?
I'm good then.
Okay. Let's see. My low would have to be currently being quarantined because of being around his daughter, and unfortunately I am experiencing some symptoms, so we're just waiting on the test to come back, but that means that I can't see my little girl for at least 2 weeks.
Either one of the little girls.
I can't go out to Pittsburgh. I can't see my daughter that's here because, her dad is very immunocompromised, and it could be very deadly to take that home. So that kind of sucks. Plus, I don't want her to get sick. But, it just makes me miss her like a lot. I'm
sorry.
It's okay.
I saw that like 100 times
I know.
in the last 2 days.
Another low would be not being able to go to Pittsburgh because the little one in Pittsburgh, she's making such large strides. She's doing so well, and I just want to be there and champion her. But at the same time,
we're crossing our fingers that we'll have her home by Christmas.
Yes. That would be the best Christmas present ever, is to have her home by Christmas. What, you want to be part of the video too?
Say, my hi mommy is I have been adopted for a year.
Right?
We've had this butthead for a year.
Yep. For those of you that can't see, our cat is right here. So yeah,
I have been part of the Morneau family for a year.
Yeah. So, but
Mr. Scotty.
But I can't go out there when she's doing so good, but so far so good with her. She was back in the hospital a couple weeks ago for almost a week. She had gotten some dehydrated, but there was a stomach bug going around her unit, so most of the kids on the unit were also experiencing thanks for
for a follow.
Okay. But she was in the hospital for about a week because she suffered dehydration. For those of you that don't know, she was born without the right side of her heart. It's there. It was just very deformed and did not grow properly. So she's had massive surgeries, open heart surgeries, to help correct that a little bit. So for any change, she was doing so good, and then to get that stomach bug and getting dehydrated, it threw off her electrolytes, which made her get really sick really quick. So she was moved because right now she's in, it's called a transition infant care center, where she's too healthy for being in the hospital, but she's not healthy enough to come home yet. So she did end up having to go back over and spend almost a week in Children's Hospital just for monitoring to make sure that they got her electrolytes and everything evened out again. But now she's doing great. She's doing so good. She's impressing the doctors every day, and I can't wait to bring her home. It's going to be so wonderful. The highs lately have been obviously our vacation. Our vacation was a lot of fun with the girls. It was taxing at times, but it was a lot of fun.
Especially driving days.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
Especially driving days.
Yeah. What other highs?
Curve game.
Yeah, we did go to the curve game. That was a good one. With his work, we got tickets to go up into one of the press boxes, which was kind of nice. Definitely a new experience for both of us. So we had a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. What's another high?
No, you need a high for this week.
I need a high for this week?
Yeah. Well, I think your high for this week might be in relation to one of our announcements that we have.
Yeah. I'm nervous though. So we have our D&D and Things channel, which is gaming, D&D, obviously.
Mental health talks like this.
Like this.
Everything that you guys are used to on our channel. If you're not, it's D&D, Things Nerdy, talks about how to better ourselves.
Yeah.
Just about any of that stuff.
But I also have had a long-time love of makeup. Believe it or not, me coming to you looking like a, naked mole rat, but but
you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'm still a naked mole rat. But anyways, I have started working on a makeup channel where I want to do product reviews, try new things out, try new techniques, test out different hacks from, the bigger beauty YouTubers, things like that. I also want to kind of start playing in like special effects makeup, maybe a little cosplay makeup, things like that.
So it will still relate to our general
feel.
core and feel, but we wanted to give a place that if you are looking for makeup, and for some of the girls who come and follow us to go to, or your guys' wives or whatnot, so you guys can share along with,
or even you guys,
whoever, So she's been starting on that. I think that falls into the excitement about planning more of our channel.
Yes.
With her being home with me all week.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of time to sit and plan and chat and.
Yep. And it'll be called Things in Makeup. I do have a YouTube channel created, but I have not posted any videos. I'm still working on editing a couple, so that way, like the first week that it kind of like launches, I can have a video like every other day going up, and then some other content prepared for the following weeks, because makeup videos take a lot. There's a lot of editing. There's a lot of time that goes into it. But I'm going to be quarantined, so I'll have plenty of time to make some videos.
All streams, whether is the makeup and any sort of makeup stream or whatnot, we're going to maintain all streams on our D&D and Things channel, I think.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for our streams, they'll be here. She's just starting a separate, a sister YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm. That'll be,
those three.
Yeah, I'm not doing the TikTok stuff.
So make sure that you check out Things in Makeup.
Yep.
That transitions us nicely. Normally this next part would be our D&D character updates. Don't have a whole lot on that. We haven't played a whole lot in the last month. We have one session. It's more me playing than her, so we'll throw that towards the end. This transitions nicely into updates on our channel. So we talked a little bit. We are working on making our channel a business. Mm-hmm. So we will be having an address. We've talked about having a phone line. We've talked about being here to be supports to you guys in our community. So we're going to have a dedicated, hopefully eventually have a dedicated like phone line that if you need someone to talk to about your mental health, you can come have us. We're not professionals. I do work in the mental health field. I do help a lot of people. So like we want to be here to support everyone. Yeah. We do have our email address as well. So we have all that. We are working on looking for more partners, or affiliates, and looking for more sponsors. So we're working through that process. We are starting our new sister channel, which is going to be underneath our overall D&D and Things. So, and this week we released a new series. So the reason why we're all Halloweened up already
with Bert.
with Bert. Yeah, that's Bert. Is because we started a series called Creature Features. We are taking iconic monsters, spooky things, creatures and such, a lot of which are in the monster manuals, and monster manual of D&D are used in different types of campaigns.
Yep.
You can find them. We're talking about their lore. We're talking about their uses in pop culture, video games and such, and we're talking about how they are in D&D, as well as talking about whether or not we think that they could actually exist.
Yes.
Or if they could actually be a plausible type of thing.
Yep.
Our first episode was on zombies.
Yep.
So if you haven't seen that already, hop on over to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
It's a YouTube exclusive type of thing.
Yeah. Those are pre-recorded.
Yeah, those are pre-recorded. There's a lot that goes into them. I did miss doing my Mass Effect series this week. Like I said, we've been doing a lot of planning and cleaning to get ready for Heaven to come home.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of having to sacrifice here and there.
Yeah.
I have diligently been working on playing all of the Humble Choice games the last couple days. I have a couple more to do. We are planning on having we normally do that 3 Thursdays after the Tuesday it releases, but if it's ready before then, we will release it sooner.
Yes. Gives you more of a chance to get the package.
The package, if you would like to, yeah.
And we are affiliate partners with
Humble
them.
Bundle.
So if you use our link down below, you can go and get your choice or any of the games if you don't want to buy the bundle. But any of the packages or anything else will, if you purchase through our link below, will greatly help out our stream. Now we will get a portion of that. It will also go to a charity. The choice package is going to what was it called?
Women in Gaming International.
Yes. To help empower women that want to do like the gaming things.
Game designs, game development. Yeah.
And then if you purchase anything other than the choice this month.
If you each of the bundles have their own specific thing. So there's still a cookbook one that has 36 different really high-end cookbooks. That goes to No Child Left Hungry. So each of the bundles has their own initiatives that goes to. Any purchases in the Humble store through our link are going to go to help towards St. Jude's Hospital. Because it is Child Cancer Awareness Month.
Yep.
So we were going to be doing a sour challenge. I have a bunch of sour candies of varying sour levelness. I'm a huge sour fan. On this channel, we have done some of the Bean Boozled stuff before. So I've been wanting to do a sour challenge, but due to a lack of taste, I have to go longer without touching the sour candies because they've been tempting me like crazy. Like, I want to try some of these, but I'm not allowed to try them till we stream. So
because he'll eat them all.
I will.
That's why.
I will.
Like,
I'll sit there.
He loves sour things.
I can sit and eat warheads, like the extreme warheads, like it's nothing. Last year at Halloween, the girls each had an extreme warhead, and we're like, we're not letting the girls have these because they're crazy. So we popped them in. Of course, we had just started doing our channel. She was like, sour faces galore. And I'm sitting here like,
that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I'm like, oh my god.
And then we're like, we should have recorded that.
So.
We've gotten better at that. So we have a sour challenge that we're going to be doing here. That is one that we will do as a live stream, whether it be on a Thingz Talks or just an extra live stream in there. For those of you who are curious, I know we haven't had much of a general schedule for a while. We try to. My streaming had been like Tuesdays and or Thursdays. At this point, we've decided that my live stream Let's Plays If you haven't joined me
Guaranteed
for that,
Tuesdays.
guaranteed every Tuesdays. And then a video, that pre-recorded video, will be every Thursday. At the moment, that's going to be our creature features, and the occasional added in humble choice review. So we do our blind reactions when it releases, and then we try to do a review as well.
Yeah. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Humble Choice, you get 12 games a month, and I think right now they're still doing it for $12.99.
$12.99 if you subscribe for like a reoccurring fee.
Yeah.
I think if you don't, it's like $20 to go on a month by month kind of thing.
But either way, and but they release on the first Tuesday of every month, so it's guaranteed on the first Tuesday, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock, whenever he's done with work.
It's normally around 5 o'clock because we try to shoot for the Let's Play stream 7:30, 8 o'clock EST.
Yeah.
So,
but that's kind of when we avoid looking at it all day, which is tough. It's tough because we know new games release, but we kind of give our blind reaction, like, what do these games look like? Do they look like things we would purchase? Do we think that these are going to be interesting games? And then, we do give a review and everything. Now, we do have from last month, now the bundle's not available, but some of the games are still on Humble. So if you want
most of the games are, not all of them are always on Humble. But if you go and look at a past review and you're like, oh, that game looks interesting. My last review was our first one. We are kind of reworking on developing that better. We have a better scoring system that isn't a slightly opinionated scoring system. But it's at least a little bit of a better scoring system for the reviews this time around.
To try and give you guys more information as far as what we think about the games.
It's a learning process. We're still we're training ourselves. So now our plan in the future is once we can do this full time, we will be taking a look at that at 1 p.m. on that day. But again, I have to maintain a full-time job at the moment so that we can support ourselves till we get this up and going. And it takes your guys' support to help us with that. So if you want to see more content from us, we greatly appreciate your support. There's a ways to directly donate to us through our Wicker link in the description below, or Willow link in the descriptions below, and Willow will also take you to all of our other links. We do need to still add our other affiliate. For those of you who weren't aware, we are affiliated with Skull Splitter Dice. It's one of the first mystery dice unboxings that I had been doing. And I absolutely love Skull Splitter Dice. They've got great customer service. They've got great... They make it an RPG adventure in just buying dice. They're great people to work with. They do some great supports. They do have opportunities to help by buying certain dice sets. It actually helps when you buy a dice set. They donate dice to high school, a set of dice to different high schools who are helping to teach D&D for certain sets. So they're doing a lot of good stuff too, and we love being affiliated with people who aren't just about making the money, but they're about helping supporting stuff. We did have Dice Envy for a little while. We're not affiliated with them. There's a possibility for us to get affiliated with them in the future, which we're looking forward to once we get to a certain point. And for the rest of the year, I apologize. We have like 5 pounds of dice at this point. Probably close to 5 pounds of dice between the two of us. We will not be getting any more dice. For a while. At the end of the year, before Christmas, probably before Thanksgiving, we will be doing our review of where we think the best places to get dice are. That's going to be a pre-recorded stuff, so make sure you keep an eye on our YouTube. Subscribe to us over there. Follow us. Hit the bell notification. All that fun stuff. So you know when we release stuff, so you know where we suggest to get your D&D content, or get something for the D&D nerd in your family.
But we also have a new subscription.
Yes.
That's coming in.
So I have Dungeon in a Box that should be coming at any point here.
Yes.
And of course, all of our unboxings we do. Well, your makeup, minus the makeup ones.
Yes.
All of our unboxings we try to do on a live stream.
Yes.
Normally the day we get it.
Yeah.
So I'm getting Dungeon in a Box, which is going towards me planning a campaign myself. We are in the new year planning on recruiting some people to be on our stream to play D&D with us.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in joining a campaign, we are looking for people who have 2 or less years experience. There's some stuff we have to do in the back end first. But if you're looking to play D&D and haven't before or don't have a campaign, we are going to do it in an online setting. I will be DMing that. Yep. More news for that will come sometime in the new year.
You can email us.
Yeah,
email us, let us know, and then once we get everything lined out, we'll reach out, and because we will be doing some interviews for that. Yes.
Our email is dndandthings@gmail.com.
Yes.
But beginning of the year, I will be starting a D&D 101 class. We're still coming up with a catchy title for it. But I'll be doing a video series on how to create a character, how to be a good player at the table. Some stuff that I know there's some videos on, but some stuff that we feel isn't covered.
Yeah. Things you want to know as a new D&D player.
As a new D&D player, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are kind of going to go hand in hand in our campaign. Like I said, we are looking for people. I've only been playing for about 3 years myself, but I have a background in LARPing and other RPGs. Jen just started. We kind of are open to having a campaign of mostly new people.
Yeah.
That way, not only is everyone learning together, it's an opportunity for us to teach as we play. So that's kind of what we're going with. I don't know if there's any other channel updates at the moment.
I think that's it. That's pretty much it. Yeah. Yeah. But definitely go check out the new series, the creature feature. And if there's any creatures you want to see us feature, let us know in the comments of that video, and we'll definitely make that happen.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Through September and October, we're focusing on the spookies. And on October 31st will be a extra live stream, which may have one of our little ones joining us for it, and we'll be in costume probably based off of whatever the girls decide, which is looking like Despicable Me this year.
Okay. I can handle that.
We were up in the air between Big Hero 6 and Despicable Me. So before Jen entered, Princess and I have always done a daddy-daughter costume.
Yeah.
Her first ever Halloween, it was going to be Captain Hook and Tinkerbell, but she outgrew her Tinkerbell costume before Halloween because, babies grow super quickly. So I was captain and she was my little first mate.
Right.
The next year we did Mad Hatter and Cheshire Cat. Then we were going to do Maui and Moana, but I didn't have her for anything Halloween that year, which was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
Then the year after that, we did Beauty and the Beast, which was one of my favorites. And then the year after that, we did King Triton and Ariel. So we did Little Mermaid, which is still, I think, one of her favorites.
Yes.
I went with tights as my, did something crazy with tights and had it all showing out. So that was all of our daddy-daughters. And last year, Jen and Anna joined us. So we did a little family Halloween thing. And, of course, Princess likes to choose what we're doing.
Yep.
Here in a couple of years, the two girls are going to have to kind of
duke it out.
Agree or duke it out.
Yeah.
But at the moment, or Stinky doesn't really care.
No.
Last year we did Frozen.
Yep.
Jen was Olaf.
Yep.
I was Kristoff. Lou was Anna. And Anna was Elsa.
Yeah. Yeah. Because of the red hair. That's all it was. Because of the red hair.
Yeah, Lou wanted to be the red-headed one.
Yeah.
Because she's a little redheaded, and she loves when she sees characters who are redheaded.
Yeah.
So this year, Lou and I were talking. I think, depending on whether or not we have heaven or not by Halloween, the idea was each of the girls is going to be the girl associated with their age from Despicable Me.
Yep.
I'm going to be Gru, and it's actually going to be Despicable Me 2.
Yeah.
Because you'll be.
I don't remember her name. Yeah, I don't remember her name. I have only seen it like twice. Yeah. The second one.
But that's probably going to be what we do this year. We might try to find a way to put Scotty in a costume and make him a minion.
That would be epic. Oh my gosh. I'm going to make that happen.
So, so if we're costume, that's what we're going to be costume as.
Yeah.
We do enjoy costuming. We start planning now because we try to make our own, do everything we can to make our own costumes.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to work on a nose, and I have to get a bald cap.
You're going to look so weird.
Yeah, and I actually might have to shave.
Don't you dare.
How are we going to take care of my hair? He doesn't have any facial hair.
It doesn't matter.
He's completely bald.
You can make him your own. You're not shaving your beard off.
Okay. That's the plan. So we will have a special creature features. I think we were talking about taking all of the creatures that we discuss in the next 2 months, maybe a couple more that we plan on discussing, and doing a discussion of who would win, doing like a March Madness kind of discussion.
Yeah. So we'd love to hear your opinion on that once we get those
all released. Once we know who we have in there, because we're talking about 6 things, and a bracket does well with 8.
Okay.
So we'll put a couple others in there. We'll release on our Twitter maybe, or our Facebook page. Maybe our Facebook page.
What?
A bracket, so you guys can vote on it ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like a week or two beforehand.
Yeah.
So you guys can go ahead and vote. That'll be up on our Twitter or our Instagram or our Facebook, one of those.
All of them probably.
All of them probably. So that you guys can vote on what yours are, and we'll take, if you guys vote, we'll take that into consideration when we're making our final decisions.
Yep.
Or that'll go into consideration as to how the brackets are set up.
Yeah.
What's your guys' top votes. If we don't get any votes, we'll kind of randomly pull them out of a hat to be lined up against each other.
Yep.
And we'll see who is the ultimate creature.
Yeah.
Based off of our debates.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe make them battle it out a little bit D&D style, since they'll have stats.
We could most certainly do that.
That would be cool.
Because we could each take one and roll. Roll for them,
battle.
Or let the girls roll for it. So we'll see. We're gonna figure that out in the meantime. Make sure you go check out the recent creature feature. There's a debate that we would love for you to join in on. We need to know whether you think Frankenstein's monster is a zombie or a golem.
He's a zombie.
He's a golem.
He's a zombie.
He's a flesh golem.
He's a zombie.
He's a flesh golem. Join the conversation over on our YouTube channel. So our D&D characters, as you guys know, thanks for following us, Master. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. We definitely appreciate it. So our original characters we were talking about together, Remsel, Nick, and Pi, are on hiatus for the moment because our DM is traveling the nation with Green Day. So, last I saw, he had been in Seattle, Washington.
We still love you, Mark, but grrr.
So we're back to Andrew's campaign, where I play a sticky-fingered tabaxi named Aiden of the Blackfur, and Jen has brought in a Urantai pureblood named charlatan named Zathara, who's a sorcerer, shadow sorcerer. Yep. We've only had one session since the last update or the last Thingz Talk.
Yeah.
Where we kind of traveled to a town where we heard of livestock going missing, and at the very end of that ran into some kobolds. I did manage to steal a huge chunk of money from a dwarven adventure party in one of our towns. There are two paths to get to where we were going, and one of those paths was decided, we can't take that one because the really expensive hotel there, I robbed in a previous session.
Yeah.
So.
Way to go.
Yeah. I just need to get like a some sort of magical item that allows me to use disguise self once a day.
Right.
Because I don't have any magics. Yeah. I have a dagger that does a shit ton of damage.
Yeah.
Shit ton. I did like 76 damage on a crit.
That's insane.
Yeah. Oh, I got to roll 4d12 plus 8d6.
Yeah.
Plus 2d4.
Yeah.
Just for one hit.
Yeah.
Because I crit.
Yeah.
So, so not much on our D&D update for this week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know if there's anything else for this week.
I don't think so. But before we sign off again, we want to say thank you to anyone that's served in any kind of civil service, whether you're a police officer, firefighter, in the military, EMS, anything like that. We do want to send out our thank yous. And if anyone has lost someone or not even, but during 9/11, we want to say, you're in our thoughts and prayers, and we will definitely never forget that day. And we just want to reach out and say thank you to anyone who would have helped on that particular day or days after, because or lost someone on those days, because we were there. We weren't directly affected, but we were. But we just wanted to take a moment and help other people remember that day, because a lot happened in our nation that day. So, but yeah.
Yep.
I think that was everything for today's episode.
Yep. So if you haven't already, make sure you follow us at all social media platforms. You can find us at DnD and Thingz with a Z at the end. Make sure if you are over on our YouTube page, you like the video and you subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you know when we are live and when we post new videos. Yes. In the meantime, we'd like you to keep being a beautiful, unrepeatable miracle, and we will see you in the next one.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.